Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
My sincerest condolences to the family, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to do more.
Investigators say a woman involved in a deadly hit and run admitted to drinking a six-pack of beer. The 32-year-old alleged drunk driver is in jail on vehicular homicide charges. But as Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero reports, the suspect may have gotten away if it wasn't for a Good Samaritan who reportedly chased her down.
L.A. Stewart says he was walking his dog at around 1 Friday morning near the intersection of 42nd Street South and 10th Avenue.
As I'm walking down the side of the sidewalk, the gentleman was over here towards that tall light post.
Stewart remembers seeing that man walking a few seconds before he heard a crash.
You know, I said, "Sir, I don't know if you can hear me, but you've been in an accident. There's an ambulance on the way. I'll stay here with you."
He tells us after he heard the sound of the crash, his first instinct was to rush in and help the victim, and then after that to chase the vehicle down. He says the man was lying on the road, bleeding heavily.
He didn't respond at all. He was perfectly still, but I still just, wanted to stay there with him.
Shanielle Head Swift is accused of driving drunk and striking him. Stewart says she kept driving and did not stop. He ran after the car so he could get a good look at the license plates. She eventually stopped near the light. Stewart says someone got out the vehicle and ran away on foot. Police say when they arrived, Head Swift was in the driver's seat.
There was no swerving. There was no screeching of brakes or anything like that. It's like the car, he hit him and he kept going for about half a block before he started even slowing down.
Investigators say Head Swift admitted to drinking a six-pack of beer and a couple of shooters. She apparently had poor balance and a strong odor of alcohol. In Fargo, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
We are not identifying the victim out of respect for the family and until next of kin is notified. Police say Shanielle Head Swift first told police she was the only person in the vehicle, but later admitted there was a man in the passenger seat. A big batch of rain is working its way through the region. Let's find out how long it'll take to move through and what we can expect this evening. Here's Hutch with your first alert forecast. Hutch?
Andrea, if you're in the Southern Valley, have that umbrella handy. It is on its way. And if you've left the windows down in your vehicle, you may want to, of course, after we're done talking here, run out and roll them up. Here's that rain. It's pushing in on the FM area. Our Southern Valley seeing it first. Cooperstown not far from you as well, taking you in a little closer where you see the yellows and dark oranges. Some briefly heavy showers pushing through from Valley City to the Tower City area, and also southern Cass and Clay counties now seeing showers. By 5:18, I expect those showers to be in central parts of the FM area. Our southern communities will see it just a little bit earlier. On up towards Findlay by around 5:52. We'll continue to track these showers for you through the newscast, but your hour-by-hour forecast shows they do push up near the Grand Forks and Crookston areas between about 8 and 10 o'clock tonight. So our northern counties do have a chance at some showers later. And these will continue into the overnight hours for some of us as well. Temperatures will be slipping into the 50s. Our rain chances increase from 5:18 and points on here in the FM area. I'll have details on your weekend outlook, Andrea, here in just a little bit. But since you're still in the anchor seat there, I'm assuming the windows are up in your vehicle.
Yes, they are. I hope.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I can't leave anyway, so they better be up.
Okay.
Thanks, Hutch.
Yes.
A 43-year-old man is now in jail after allegedly stabbing a man in Jamestown earlier this month. On September 2nd, Jamestown police got a call about a 63-year-old man who had been stabbed. When police arrived, the suspect had already taken off. Authorities say thanks to numerous tips, they arrested 41-year-old Randy Houle on suspicion of aggravated assault, criminal attempt, robbery, and false information. The victim is still recovering from his injuries. 3 people are behind bars after police say they broke the windows of a South Moorhead home and went inside. It happened in the 3000 block of 18th Street South around 6 last night. When police arrived and saw the broken windows, they set up a perimeter and used a police canine to nab the suspects. 38-year-old Derek Fairbanks, 43-year-old Linda Miller, and 38-year-old Daisy Butcher all face several charges. Police say the suspects know the homeowner. A teenage girl is dead and 4 teenagers were injured after a crash in Cass County, Minnesota. Around 8 last night, authorities say a 16-year-old boy from Bacchus, Minnesota, was driving near Pine River when he veered off the road and rolled several times. That 16-year-old girl was thrown from the vehicle and died at the scene. No one else was seriously injured. The incident report shows speed was a factor in the rollover. Health officials are reporting a disturbing trend in testing that could affect America's ability to stop the spread of the coronavirus. National correspondent David Begnaud is following the story and has more.
Our nature is to want to be with others.
Dr. Deborah Birx of the White House Coronavirus Task Force went to South Carolina yesterday with a clear message.
That if you've been on vacation, if you've gone to a hot spot, if you've gone to a party in the neighborhood, if you took your mask off and were not socially distant, you really need to get tested.
But that is a message a lot of Americans are ignoring, according to infectious disease expert Dr. Michael Osterholm.
One of the most concerning aspects of our response to COVID right now is the growing number of people refuse to be tested, even when they've been exposed and in some cases are clinically ill. This is only going to amplify the number of cases throughout this country.
Osterholm says that trend is particularly noticeable on college campuses, where cases are spiking. At Texas Tech University, the school says it's looking into this video of a young woman at a party claiming she has the virus. For many Americans like Sue Brombaugh, the pandemic is a painful reality.
I want everyone to realize that it is serious.
Just this past Wednesday, Sue lost her youngest daughter, Marie, to the coronavirus. She was 40 years old. She had started a job at a family medicine clinic this past summer in Branson, Missouri. And even though asthma made her particularly vulnerable to COVID-19, she never stopped working to treat people who had symptoms of the virus.
I want people to understand how vital my daughter's life was. And we just miss her.
David Begnaud, CBS News.
Marie Brumbaugh is survived by 3 children, including a 10-year-old daughter. Sue Brumbaugh wants people to remember that even though we're several months into this pandemic, frontline healthcare workers are still putting their lives at risk every day. Let's take a look now at the COVID-19 numbers. In Minnesota, the health department is reporting 484 new cases along with 13 new deaths. In total, there are more than 1,800 deaths in the state attributed to the disease. More than 75,000 people have recovered. In North Dakota, there are 244 new cases and 4 more deaths. The death toll now sits at 164. The active case count is more than 2,300. Local firefighters are stair climbing to commemorate the lives lost during the attacks on America on September 11th, 2001. 15 firefighters accepted the challenge, walking up these stair machines with 60 pounds of gear, including an oxygen tank. It takes about 30 minutes for each firefighter to climb 110 floors, the same amount of floors at the World Trade Center. Firefighters from Fargo, West Fargo, Moorhead, and the surrounding communities took part. The event is raising awareness and money and honoring fallen firefighters and victims.
It's just a day that we never want to forget. It was a day that was tragic in our history, but it was also a day that our nation came together, and it's paramount and important that we never forget what we are as a nation and that we live in the great United States of America.
The Secretary of Defense marks the September 11th anniversary at the Pentagon. Secretary Mark Esper taking part in a wreath ceremony at the entrance to the Department of Defense headquarters this morning, alongside Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley. That was followed by a moment of silence at 9:37, marking the moment American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon, killing all 64 people on the plane and 125 people in the building.
No one could fathom that on that bright September morning, we would experience the worst terrorist attack in our nation's history.
Relatives of those killed didn't attend the ceremony due to the pandemic. They are being allowed to visit the site later today. The North Dakota Department of Commerce says it received nearly $100 million worth of requests from small businesses asking for emergency grant. Only about $65 million is available in CARES Act funding. So far, the agency says it has given out $10 million as they continue sifting through applications. Up to $50,000 are distributed to businesses to help them with generating revenue.
We're going into the colder months, and companies across the spectrum, from restaurants to hotels to retail establishments to manufacturers, need to make the requisite adjustments to their business model.
While the deadline has closed, the Department of Commerce says it's hoping for another round of grants, but they'll have to work with lawmakers. Museums and memorials dedicated to 9/11 are having to adapt during this pandemic so students can better understand the tragedy. That's next on Valley News Live at 5.
Moderate to briefly heavy rain showers pushing from south to north through the Southern Valley as we speak. Mere minutes away from downtown Fargo. I'll have hour-by-hour details on where this is heading and a look ahead toward your weekend coming up right after this.